Hey gang, today we're going to have a little bit of fun. I'm going to do Procol Harum's Whiter Shade of Pale on guitar. I'm first going to demo it for you, then we're going to build up all the parts. I'll show you the tricks that I used in recording it and in getting the sounds. All right, so it'll be a lot of fun. Hey, if you like this one, give it the like button or press the thumbs up. And if you haven't yet subscribed for one of these every single week, please leave your comments below. That's about it. Let's get to the demo. Okay, gang. Well, here's the plan for this one. First, I'm going to show you how each of the parts is used to build it on the looper pedal. Okay, so first we're going to build each part separately onto the looper pedal. And then at the end, I'll show you how to play each part a little bit close up. Okay, so first we're going to build it. I'm using the JTC Drum and Loop Pro by NuX. I think it's a cool pedal, but any looper pedal will do. We're going to start with the guitar part. And I've got this at about, about 80 beats per minute. We're going to try and play it. Okay, so here we go. This is going to sound a lot like Pachelbel's Canon. It's got that moving bass line, and it's in the key of C. So here we go. See how I got it with the tempo. Pretty good. So it sounds pretty good. All right, so the second part we're going to do is we're going to do the bass. So the bass, all I'm going to do is turn the tone knob down and we'll do the bass on the guitar, okay? So pretty simple, straightforward. So let's do that again. Here we go. So now we've got the guitar and the bass, kind of getting a nice little bass on that. So let's stop that for just a second. The third part is just going to be sort of some chord filling up some space. So it's meant to be sort of the bottom part of the organ or the left hand of the organ. And so to do that, all I'm going to do is I'm going to play the same sort of triads, but I'm going to play some of it in a different part of the neck. So as you'll see, I'm basically going like this. Oops, I'll turn the tone back up here. But I'm going to put a twist on it, and I'm going to use, now you can do this with a volume pedal. I'm just going to use the volume knob on this Strat here, okay, my little pinky. So basically I'm going to do this. All right, like that. So here we go. you can hear that sort of coming in the background, and it adds to it. Okay. Now, here's the piece de resistance, I think, is, well, I'm going to add one more thing. I'm going to change the drums on this. So I'm going to go from metronome to a drum beat. That's going to make it sound a little bit cooler. I think that sounds a lot better than that metronome. Kind of adds to the dimension. All right, so the last thing that we're going to do is we have to add the organ. Okay, now I'm cheating. I've actually got the Electro-Harmonix B9 organ pedal, and I'm going to use that one. But I'm going to show you how you can just use a simple distortion, and it's going to sound very similar. Okay, so let's do this one using the organ pedal first. Here we go. All right, so that's it. That's the whole thing. Now, I have to admit, I love this organ pedal. It really does sound pretty cool. You know. Sounds pretty neat. And the thing I like about it is you can play double stops and stuff like that, and it does sound really good. But you don't have to, you don't have to use one of those. You can actually use a regular old distortion pedal. And so what I've done is I'm using a distortion pedal. Let me take the organ off of that so we just have the same thing we had before. Okay, so this is what we had before. And now what I'm going to do is I'm going to take the organ sound off, and I'm going to add the distortion pedal. Okay? So it's going to sound. So I've got a ton of gain on this distortion pedal, right? So it sings out. You can even add some compression if you want. So it sustains like forever. And that's the key thing, is you want it to sustain for a long time to get this. And I guess the only thing I would say that's kind of a little bit problematic is now if you want to play the double stops, it doesn't quite sound like an organ anymore. It sounds okay, but it sounds more like John Lord, Deep Purple, really distorted sort of organ. So what I'm going to do is, instead of playing the double stops, I'm just going to play the single notes, and I'll show you what those are. But it actually simplifies what you're going to play. So let's try that one now and see how it sounds. Here we go. I actually think it sounds pretty cool. I mean, sure, it doesn't sound exactly like that organ did, but I think it sounds pretty cool, and it certainly is kind of nice, and you built it all up. All right? So anyway, that's what I'm sticking with, and I hope you have some fun building it. And now let's go over all of those parts. Just as a recap, we've got the guitar, which is an arpeggiation. We've got the bass, which is super simple, kind of descending bass line with a couple of tiny twists. we've got the fading, sort of volume swell guitar, which is really meant to be the organ background. And then we've got the organ lead. However you play that one, whether you add, just use a distortion pedal, or whether you have a specialized organ pedal or something like that, where you really try and get that organ sound. Okay, so let's go over each of those parts now. Okay, let's go through all of the parts. I think I am going to give you the tab down there just because then I can go through this a little bit faster and it'll make it a little bit easier. Okay, so let's do the guitar part first. Now this is kind of an arpeggio where you're walking down the bass. We're going to start out in C, or this is in the key of C. We're going to start out with a C arpeggio, a C triad, on the first 3 strings, which is 5, 5, and 3. So like this. And then we'll play that bottom string again in preparation for the next one, which is this one, 4, 5, 3. Okay, now we're going to shift positions and come down to here. So that's 2, 1, open. And then just lift up that finger, open, 1, and open. So those are all kind of C-ish triads. Now we're going to play an F triad on the 4, 3, and 2 strings. So it's 3, 2, 1. Shift that bass note down, 1. So we've got 2, 2, 1. Okay, now we're going to go to a D chord. A D minor chord, I should say. So that's open, 2, 3. Now we're going to play 5th string. Okay, so 5th string on the 3rd fret, then the 3rd string 2nd, 2nd string 3rd. All right, now we're going to go to a G triad right here. So again, we're back on the 4, 3, and 2 strings. It's 5, 4, and 3. Now G7. Okay. Now we're going to go to 2, open, open. And open, open, open. Now we're going to play a C chord right here, so regular C chord. It's a little bit different. We're just going to play the chord itself. So we'll play 5, 4, 3, 2 strings. It's 3, 2, open, 1. F triad. Okay, so 4, 3, 2, and 1 strings. It is 3, 2, 1, 1. Okay, shift it up. So that's our G triad right there. 4, 3, 2 strings. It is 5, 4, 3. And then I just played a couple of little sixths here. So that is on the 1st and 3rd strings, I'm playing 5. And then I'm playing on the 1st and 3rd strings, I'm playing 7th fret. So it's basically an F triad or an F to a G. All right, and that gets back into that C. Let me play the whole thing kind of slowly and you'll see how it works again. So here's the whole thing, starting out from that C triad. right, so that's the guitar part. Okay, now let's do the bass part. Bass part's really pretty simple, and so we'll go through it pretty quickly. The only thing I do with the sound is I take this tone knob, turn it all the way down. So what we're going to do is we're going to walk down from this C on the 6th string. We're going to walk down, and then I'll show you we're going to walk down from the F and so forth. Okay, so let's start that out. So let me just play it kind of like this so you can see it really easily. We're playing on the 6th string, so like this. Now on the 5th string. Now I could keep going down on that 5th string, but I don't. I'm going to bring it to the 6th string. So that walk is 8, 10, 12, 13. Okay, now we're going to walk down from the G. So this is on the 5th string again on the 10th fret. Okay, and here's the end part. 6th string now, 1st fret. Now open, 2nd, and we're on, ending on that 3rd. Okay, and that begins the next time around. So that's the bass part. Okay, the third part is that guitar with the volume knob swell, right? Now I am using the volume knob, but of course you can use a volume pedal if you don't like using the volume knob, or if you have a Les Paul or something where you just can't reach it. All right, so here we go. I'm going to start out with a voicing, and I'll just basically call out the chords. So this is a C major triad on the 4, 3, and 2 strings. And now, so that's 10, 9, 8. Now it's an E minor triad. We're going to go 9, 9, 8. Okay, now a minor triad. We're going to go 7, 5, 5. Oops. Now 5, 5, 5, which is kind of a minor 7th. Now our F triad. Seen that before. The rest is basically like we've played all along. A minor triad right there. 2, 2, 1. Okay, here's the D minor triad. Open 2 and 3. Put a C in the bass there. 5th string 3rd. G major triad. So that's 5, 4, 3. And then a G 7th, right? So this is 3, 4, 3. E minor. So it's 2, open, open. And G major, open, open, open on the 4, 3, 2 strings. C chord. F chord. G triad. Okay, now an F triad right here. This may not be as common to you, so it is on the 4, 3, and 2 strings. We've got 7, 5, and 6. And the G triad, which is 9, 7, and 8. So it sounds like... All right, let me play how the whole thing sounds so you can hear it. Oops. And there you go. Kind of makes it sound like a little, like maybe a little violinish or whatever, but I think it works for this one. So there we go. That is all of the parts except for the lead. So now let's go through the lead. And yeah, let me play it without the organ on so you can see what's going on. So I'm just going to play it and you'll see, I think, what all the notes are. This is in the key of C, and I'll just point out some of the let's do the first phrase. So here's the first phrase. Okay, so the only thing that's going on there is you've got to, you don't have to do this, but when I have the organ sound, it works great. I love how it sounds with the playing that double stop. If you want to, you can just slide up on the second string from 3 to 5, but I'm also playing this note on the third string, 5, all along. So I hammer on like that. You don't have to do that. It's not really important to know that for this. So let's just slide up here. I'll play it very slowly, and you've got the tab to help you out. Okay, so here's the whole line. Okay, here's the next line. Again, I play this as a double stop on the third string 9 and, I'm sorry, 10 and the second string 10, because with the organ sound it sounds great and helps it sustain somewhat. But if you're just playing single notes, just kind of slide up to that 10th fret on the second string. All right, so that's a really simple line. You're sliding up to this note right here, which is an A on the 10th fret of the second string, and letting that, hang out as long as you can, right? Sustain that note. Then this. And if you want to pick it to get it to be extra sustainy, then pick it. If you don't need that extra sustain because you got an incredible distortion pedal or an incredible guitar that can sustain, don't do it. Just hammer on. Now I play a double stop here again. This one is on the third string 7, first string 7. But you really just have to play this note if you want. Okay? And sustain that as long as you want. It kind of bleeds into the end part, which is crap. Okay, the last part left is the lead. And for that, let me just remind you that you've got the tab, and that will help me go a little bit faster on this. Let's just get the top notes of that lead, and then I'll show you how you can add some things in if you have an organ sound. If you're using the distortion, don't do it, okay, because it's going to probably make it sound a little too hard for it, okay, too hard rockish, and that's not really the sound we're going for here. All right, so let me just play the whole thing. I'll play it super slowly, and that pretty much ought to do it. So here we go. Sliding up on the second string to the 10th fret. Hammering onto the 8th fret, second string. Okay, so the only thing I'm really adding when I play this, when I have the organ sound, and again, I would not advise doing this if you're using a distortion pedal, is I can add a double stop on the bottom to make it just a little fuller sound and get it to sustain a little bit more. Now it doesn't sound great if you're just playing it without that. So you can see it just gives it a little more fullness to the sound, and with that organ sound, it just really sounds, I think, very cool. Anyway, that's that, and I think that's pretty much all the parts, so there you go. All right, gang, well, I hope you enjoyed this one. I really enjoyed making it. I thought it was a lot of fun using both that organ pedal and then doing it without the organ pedal and just using kind of a plain distortion pedal that most of us will probably have. All right? Hope you enjoyed how all the parts kind of came together, and you can play this classic organ sound or organ song on guitar. All right, until next time, we'll see you on down the road.